Previously, on the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. The north of Faerun finds itself embroiled in chaos, as the long benign cult of the dragon has recently made a resurgence and is actively pillaging nearby lands at the behest of Seven Sajarin, who is attempting to gather 5 dragon masks to release Tiamat from her prison in the Nine Hells. Meanwhile, 4 novice adventurers journey to the town of Greenest as caravan guards for the belligerent Nub McGrub. During said journey, they came to know Nub's bodyguard, Sebastian Crenshaw, and the reserved Marlowe Duskwood, who did their best to make the group feel welcome, despite Nub's foul temperament and overt self-interest. When the party reached their destination, they were greeted by the sight of a blue dragon that circled ominously over the town. Sensing the plight below, the party ventured further in, and soon arrived at Greenest Keep, where they became acquainted with Governor Naito and Castilian. From here, the party proceeded to work through the night, and saved many townspeople, whilst also driving back the nefarious raiders, which eventually culminated in a stand at the keep, and an ultimatum posed by the battle-hungry Langdrosa Cyanrath. Zark answered the Draconid's challenge for single combat, and fought a pitched battle, with the former eventually prevailing, thanks to the awakening of a mysterious new power. The raiders retreated after the battle, and the party were rewarded for their efforts. After spending a few days of rest, the party were besieged by Nessun Wildra to find his friend Leosin Elenfar, who was captured by the raiders during the attack on Greenest. After tracking Leosin back to the raiders' camp, the party were captured almost immediately, thanks to Zark's reputation. However, some reinforcements courtesy of Gwen allowed the rest of the party and Leosin to escape to a nearby cave, wherein our heroes fought through many conflicts before confronting Grama. At the climax of the battle, Langdrosa Cyanrath grappled the lizard, dealing a decisive blow at the cost of his own life. And now we return as the Tyranny of Dragons continues. Okay.
We shall always be there.
We're just. Oh, hang on. I'm hearing double. One moment. There we go. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome back to Hoard of the Dragon Queen, and yeah, we were just lamenting Zach's absence. Maybe he'll be back with us soon. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we're kind of just playing that by ear. So, okay, so it was a little bit of a rushed ending last time, but what I'm going to do just to kind of get things somewhat back on track, I'm essentially going to go back in time roughly about a minute. So basically what's just happened is Delamain as Krylark attacked, pelted Rama with a bunch of ice, Langdrosa picked him up, and then tossed him into this area over here. So essentially, the end of the fight hasn't happened yet, as I described. So essentially, what I'm covering now is what's kind of happening during the fight, because I probably skipped about a minute. So, speaking of that, let me just get my notes up here. So, you guys kind of finally being able to take a breather after Rama's being thrown away from you, kind of look around to each other. You see that most of the guys at this point are dead, but something seems distinctly wrong with Delamain. Like, what happened just a moment ago wasn't a momentary thing. And just as you guys recover from the attack and look back towards him, you just kind of see him with his eyes down, looking menacing. And he just says, "I thank you for whittling down the obstacles in my path, but now you shall move aside." He just raises. He doesn't answer you.
Like, just still trying to say his name, trying to get the attention of the Delamain.
Yeah, he looks towards you when you say this, Gwen, actually, and just says, I assure you, any attempt to stop me will only hurt him. And more importantly, yourselves. And with that, Delman starts to raise his right hand, and he just clenches it. And in that moment, you just feel the air in the room chill. The colour fades. Okay.
Can I try to do what I did last time?
Yep,
Try to push him. And this I'm trying to push him down the cliff.
Yep, go ahead.
Wow.
Yep. I have no problems with you interrupting me. Okay, in that case, I would probably going to say that in his moment, I'm going to give you advantage on strength because he's kind of monologuing at the moment. So I would say that this. So I'm going to give you that because I do Krylar monologues a lot. So
yeah, he does.
This is fair game. Yep. Roll
wow.
Okay.
I literally can't
roll the second time, but it's not gonna get any better than that.
No. That's
you literally pick him up and just throw him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ragdoll my ass. Yeet me down the cliff. Okay. Yeah, I literally can't beat that because I have a -2 strength.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, Gwen, where do you throw him?
Just push him down this down the cliff so he topples over to the edge and then making him topple over.
Okay, so I'm going to say that he's pushed on there. Unfortunately, as mentioned, I'm going to have Delman roll 1d8. Okay, I'm going to say that you take 5 bludgeoning damage, but it also stops whatever Krylark was doing. So,
seeing this happen,
yeah, go on.
I want to run forward and I want to basically clasp my hands into his whilst he's on the floor.
Okay, sorry, my headset just cut out for a second. I'm really sorry. Could you just repeat that?
I want to run forward and clasp my hands basically into his, keeping all of his fingers and thumbs separate on the floor.
Okay.
And close his fist.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Right, go ahead.
Good.
Alright, I'm basically going to give you all one free thing, considering you kind of acting simultaneously. I'm just going to look something up whilst you do that. Does anyone else want to do anything at this moment?
I guess my fog cloud would have disappeared. Actually,
what he was doing was not a concentration spell, even though it sounds like it. So it is still up.
Okay.
I would just like to call out liar.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm going to say that he isn't exactly being subtle. So I would say that Liar is already moving towards you. So Liar is going to run alongside Delman here, and she is going to attempt to clasp his hands. So, okay, so, Arthur, did you say that you'd gotten hold of him?
Yeah, I'd run forward, clasp his hands.
Right,
I the floor by the hands.
Right,
separate.
Okay, Arthur, Delman, roll opposed strength. Because this is still Delman's strength.
Would he be prone, so would I have advantage?
Yes, you would. I'm going to be nice.
I'm too strong. Too strong, but...
Okay, so as Arthur gets over to Delman, he manages to kind of break his grip. And I'm going to say that Liar gets over to him and clasps his head, but he does manage to close his fist in that time. So it's kind of a bit of a give and take. So I'm just going to reveal this. Okay, can you guys see that all right?
Yes.
So that's basically the radius of this. So essentially, as Liar gets up to him and grabs his head, the atmosphere chills, and then an unnatural frigid wind howls up. And then, really, within 5 feet of where you're currently standing, you can't see anything. It's kind of like Delman's fog cloud, but it's kind of almost like some sort of ice storm has manifested out of nowhere. And then a few moments later, particles of ice start to form, and then gradually get bigger. And then large mounds of rock, or large mounds of ice kind of come down from above. Could everyone make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
I'm sorry for TPK in the party, guys.
I am going
Does that include me? Sorry.
actually not you.
I failed.
Oh, okay, let me see what everyone got. So I just need to this up.
Book out.
Okay. So it's probably not as bad as you think. So Gwen failed. Sky passed actually. Zark failed. Right. Right. Cool. Right. So basically, as you do this, you notice. I'm going to say Arthur because you're right next to him. That what you did actually make quite a difference. It seems that although Krylak successfully cast a spell, it seems to have somewhat diminished the potency of it. So, I'm going to just see what is this usually. So, okay. So, just going to roll a couple of things. So that much, and then this much. Okay, so anyone who failed the saving throw will take 8 cold damage. Sorry, 8 bludgeoning damage and 3 cold damage.
What was the fail save?
What was the fail, sorry?
Dog raging. Sorry, I can't remember from last session.
No, he doesn't have a rage.
He doesn't, unfortunately. What was your question, sorry, Arthur?
What was the fail?
What was the fail? Oh, sorry, what did you roll? Actually, no, sorry, Arthur, you did pass, just...
I did?
Yeah.
So 5?
Oh, wait, what was that 1d20 plus 1?
That was my Steel Defender.
Oh, that was your Steel Defender. What did you roll? I don't see a roll here.
5.
Oh, right, yeah, you failed. The pass was 16.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, you're going to take 11... Did Zark fail as well?
Yes, spectacularly so.
Okay, and Blaine's going to take half because he did succeed. Okay, so that happens, although Blaya has now gripped Krylak's head, and even though he should be able to move, he is unable to think it. It seems that, Arthur, because you're near enough to Laya to probably see this, she seems to be chanting something, and just has her hands firmly gripped on Krylak's head, and you just hear him say, "No, not now! Not when I am this close! What is the meaning of this?" And then you hear Elias say, "I knew it was you, lurking beneath this gnome's consciousness. Your goals are so predictable as they were back then." And then Krylak tries to do something else. Actually, I didn't make Lia do the saving throw, did I? Never mind. I think she probably would have failed it. I'll just do it now. Yeah. Actually, no, she would have meets the beast, so she would have taken half. Cool. Okay, so just going to do that. So Krylak manages to raise his right hand once again, and he kind of starts to cast something, but then his hand just shakes continuously, and his arm just drops, and he just says, "Even with his power, it wasn't enough to maintain." And then Lia just says, quite panting, taking a considerable amount of effort to hold whatever it is she's doing, says, "Are you quite finished with your tantrum?" Krylak keeps struggling against Lia's influence, but eventually he just says, with his voice trailing off, "He will need my help again. It's only a matter of time."
And when I do, I'll come back to you if my rival doesn't get here first.
And with that, Delamain just goes limp. And Lyra just is just kneeling there on her knees. I'd say around this moment is when you would hear Rama and Langdrosa's exchange that you heard at the last session. And essentially, Rama fell down into this hole here, and Langdrosa just fell backwards. Okay, so what do you guys do?
We didn't even see his sacrifice. Too busy getting Krylark clapped.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, this was enough to render you unconscious as well. Lyra is conscious, but she looks visibly drained.
How steep is that cliff?
That's
Is
10
it
foot.
possible to
You can slide down it.
slide it down it without taking damage?
Yeah, I mean the only reason Delamain took damage is
controlled
because
slide?
you pushed him. So yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I had you guys do controlled slide last session, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I believe so. I just wanted to check. In that case, I'd like to
Yeah.
take a controlled slide down.
I'm going to say that this storm, as soon
Yeah.
as Krylark or Delamain lost consciousness, that was dispelled. The fog cloud is also gone as well because Delamain lost consciousness, so you can actually see his body. In the time that they were battling, this Korean was killed, and Grump.
Is this one down here just scared out of his fucking mind?
Yeah, actually, yes, it is. It's just, I think, to be honest, it's probably. I'm just trying to think. I don't think I did anything with him. So yeah, he's uncharacteristically for a Korean. It's just frightened. Arthur, this will be the first time you've ever seen a frightened Korean in your entire life, and likely feel a really smug sense of satisfaction washing over you this moment.
Robert, watch him.
Zark sees. Bad guy. Zark kill.
Keep it alive. It might have something for us. I'd say shouting.
Yeah.
Zark gives you a very dirty look. Zark wants kill.
Later, Zark.
It's like the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok. But a big monster.
I like Gwen Stark. So Grum's
I
just
look
going
to
to
Lyra.
yeah. Lyra is kind of non-responsive at this moment. I mean, you can still it seems like she's kind of tilted her head slightly, but she seems really out of it. Just to let you know, Arthur. So, what are you going to say, sorry?
Lyra, what was that exactly? And what did you do to it?
Lyra starts trying to open her mouth to speak. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Gwen getting there is going to interject. She knows. Delamain's guest, his uninvited guest, was making an appearance.
How did you stop it? It's not the first time something's happened.
Didn't.
Last time we nearly brought down a house.
You guys don't actually know what's happening there. Only Gwen knows.
Yeah, only Gwen. All I've seen before now is ice has started to appear. This time you also tried acting strange.
Delamain isn't quite alone in his body. The other one is the one who has the the ice.
So, Grumsh at this point is going to come over to Lyra and he's just going to go, you okay, Lyra? Once again, Lyra doesn't respond.
Gwen, this time, walking directly to her, taking her arm and casting a Cure Wounds.
Okay. As that happens, the magic runs through Lyra's body, but then she suddenly takes a sharp intake of breath, as if something is just being, like the air is just being pulled out of her body, and she just kind of like throws herself onto her back, and she appears to be convulsing, as if the oxygen is actively being taken out of her lungs. She's just like,
Do I have any clue what might be going on with her?
roll medicine.
I'd like to roll Arcana at the same time if I can.
Yeah.
See if there's a magical effect.
Okay, even though you guys have failed, it doesn't take very long to see what is happening. You can see, Gwen, as you are looking at Lyra's hands, you can see that ice appears to be forming on her hands, and it seems to be moving up her body very slowly, but it seems to be causing her pain. You actually notice, oddly, that Grumsh seems to be wincing a little bit as well, but it's kind of like more, it's just slightly bothering him, but it's really bothering Lyra. Okay, what do you guys do?
Gramsh, you know what's going on in this.
No, she's in pain. I feel pain too. Spell from earlier, probably taking edge off. I don't know what to do. He just kind of picks Lyra up and just tries shaking the ice off her. He's not really the medical sort, so okay. What do you guys try next?
Quick check my inventory. What do I have?
Am I still knocked out?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's okay, I'll just sit here and eat.
I want to pull out one of my torches from my pack and light it and try and put it near her hands.
And I would like to do Produce Flame.
Okay, do me a
Have
favor.
the flame in my hands also
Arthur,
close to him.
Arthur, roll a d20. Gwen, you roll your to hit with Produce Flame. Actually, no, your to just roll your damage for Produce Flame, I'd say. Okay, so I'm going to say with what you've got there, you manage to stop the ice for just... You manage to kind of stop the spread of the ice, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to like cause much of a difference. I'm going to say at this moment you start to hear shouting, not shouting, but like a lot of footsteps coming from the corridor over here. And Leosin and the other orcs make an appearance from the doorway. I'm just going to drag them over. So, they run into the room, and the orcs see this scene of Lyra and Grumsh on the ground. One of them runs forward, as well as Leosin, and he just kind of comes up alongside you. Oh God, what's happened here? What's wrong with Lyra?
Cryolark.
Who?
Cryolark happened.
Who the devil's is Cryolark?
White
Malevolent
dragon.
presence. Ice is spreading across her.
Oh God.
It's out of her hands. We can't stop it.
Okay, Leosin goes up alongside Lyra, and he just goes, I don't really know what this... Actually, wait. I think I actually read about this somewhere. It seems to be some sort of... Yes, I think it's some sort of curse. Hang on. could you just hold a hand up for me a second? I just need to have a quick look at something.
I do so.
Okay, so Leosin takes a few moments to inspect Lyre, and he notices that. Right. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. It's forming around this silver ring. This is usually used in a warding spell, I think. I think he's trying to take them both out, but it seems like she isn't really the target. This isn't meant to kill, just to make her suffer. It's possible that whatever this curse is, it was actually meant for someone else, passed on by touch. Do you have any idea who this person might be targeting, other than this one? As this is happening, the ice starts to spread a little bit more, and Lyre is still gasping frantically for breath. Not getting any worse for now, but doesn't really seem to be getting any better.
I'm
Nothing
gonna
I
have a
can-
look at Delman. See if I can wake him up. And to that, using some of my water skin and just like
I'm going to say that
splashing water on his face.
I'm going to say that's enough to wake him up. Okay, so Delman is now conscious again.
He's getting stronger. I should do something.
What happened?
Your guest happened.
Oh,
And as you say that, Gwen, Delman, you hear a voice in your psyche again, but it's weaker than it's been previously. If you weren't concentrating really hard and you hadn't heard his voice so many times before now, you might have thought that it was just the wind or some other noise. And you just hear, it's him or her. And that's all you hear.
okay.
Previously you had mentioned that it seemed like it was coming from, well, originated from the ring, the curse.
It seems to be emanating around. It seems to be the strongest around there, yes. But what you just heard, that you didn't hear that out loud, that was kind of in Delman's mind, so I assume you choose to relay that, Delman?
No, that wasn't to Delman. That was...
That's
with,
just, yeah, that's just to me, yeah.
No, that was to Leosin. That was him saying that.
Yeah, Leosin is the one who said that. So what are you saying to him now?
I'm going to get my thieves' tools out of my pack, and I'm going to try to remove the ring using them.
Okay. So, roll, let's see, what would be the best for this? It's usually like a dex check for thieves' tools, isn't it?
No, it depends.
I
Because
think
when I
it
use the thieves' tools, I get abilities later on where I get to double my proficiencies with them and stuff like that.
I was curious. I was reading the other day. It acts the same way as a skill would. So you just have proficiency bonus to an ability check
Okay.
for tools.
Okay, so be +2 for now.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Come on. Better than I've done previously, at least.
Okay, I'm going to say that is enough to get the ring off Lyre's finger, and sure enough, as soon as you remove the ring from her finger, she just kind of takes a like a breath, as if like she's able to actually regain oxygen, and the ring itself, ice continues to form around it, but now you've removed it from Lyre's finger, it's now happening to Grumsh instead. It seems to have transmitted itself through the ring to his hand. But on Grumsh's hand, it's moving a lot faster. Like, in the time that you remove the ring and it hits the ground, it's kind of covered up to his wrist. and seems to be going up towards his forearm. And you just kind of hear him go,
Shit.
He just turns to Zach. You! Cut off arm! No!
Oops.
Zark will do as told.
Okay,
Rush up and try to swing with the axe.
okay. Okay, roll to hit.
What do you need to roll to hit?
Actually,
Is it
no, it's
stationary?
actually no,
He's
he
allowing.
won't. Nah, that was just kind of me going, is it a clean cut? But
That'll be in that one moment.
yeah, you know what? As long as it isn't a nat one, it's a clean cut. So just roll to see if you get a nat one. That's all.
Oh god, no.
Okay.
Ah.
No.
This is not the time.
You don't get a nat one.
No,
It's great.
no.
You get 20 above that. So you managed to lob
Oh,
off.
That's a decent.
You managed to lob off Grumsh's arm, and you just hear go. "Ah! Ah!" And he just falls to the ground, arm off. But the freezing has stopped.
Following that, I'm going to run up towards him and cast Cure Wounds on him to seal the wound.
Okay. You cure wounds.
That's only 4. But still, at least I can
It's
seal the wounds
it's
while you're
enough.
bleeding.
It's enough to thingy. So, yeah. After that, Laya is. I'm actually going to say that the ordeal she's gone through, Laya is now unconscious fully. Grumsh is conscious, but that's he just he's just like the Stormbringer was dead. And that's all he says, just grasping his stump of an arm on his knees.
Death isn't always the end. Guess it definitely wasn't in this case.
Yeah, the ring, sort of like Grumsh's ring, like, the curse seems to have stopped with nowhere else to go. Like, the frost that was forming around Lion Grumsh's rings are gone. So, it's...
That did good.
Yes,
Yes.
Zark. You probably just saved him.
Leeson just moves over to one of the dragon eggs over here. Just goes, "Oh, good, you found the eggs. How is this the only one?"
I gesture towards the one that smashed. There was 2 in here still. Another one went down the ladder over yonder, I think.
Leeson just looks.
Where's
over...
Rama?
I'm sorry, I wasn't here. Oh, the big lizard. Wait, he was here.
He was here. At this point, I'm looking around and I'll see Langdros taking notes.
So yeah, as I say, Rama and Langdros' exchange was basically overlooked, considering what was just going on. There was a slight distraction. So yeah, he's just lying on the ground. You probably can't tell that he's dead exactly from this spot, but upon closer inspection, you'd probably say it's fairly obvious. So, do you go over there, Arthur?
I would do, yes.
Okay, you go over. So, are you trying to determine cause of death, or are you looking for something in particular?
Looking for signs that where's Rama has gone. I'd assume to be some kind of sign that he tumbled backwards and down the well. Or whatever it is.
Just roll investigation. So. Okay. Yeah. Upon looking on the ground, you can kind of like see the scuff marks where they kind of went back and forth, and you can kind of see that the dirt was disturbed quite a bit in this spot. Like at the moment that Rama's body weight kind of pushed against the dirt as he fell backwards. So you can tell that something happened in that spot, and on a 21, you surmise that something or someone probably fell.
that case, I'd look down the hole to see what I can see.
Okay.
And I drop the torch down that I still have with me.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to be nice and I'm going to have that be a part of your investigation check. So, yeah, just because I'm feeling nice after that moment. So, you look down the hole and there doesn't really seem to be a lot there at first glance. It doesn't actually appear that it goes down it's only like a 10-foot descent, so it's not as if it kind of like goes too far. But as it looks normal, but then out of the corner of your eye, you see what appear to be some sort of like glyphs in a circular border towards the bottom of the hole. It looks, without kind of rolling arcana to draw, you can probably tell that there's something obviously magical in here.
No sign of a body.
No sign of a body, or the egg that went down there, or the queen that went down with it. Actually, did a queen go down? The egg went down there, anyway. But
Two Kareen took the egg down.
yeah, I Yes, think one of them actually carried it down from memory. Like one kind of helped move it down, but in any case, you don't see the egg, the Korean, or armor down there. Do you climb down the ladder to investigate this this circle further?
I'll shout over that I'm going down to the rest. There's a room down here. I'm just checking it. Making sure Rama's not still here.
Make sure you stay here.
I go down to the ladder. Well, down the ladder.
Okay, you go down the ladder. Okay, so when you go down the ladder, you just see, like I said, you go down the ladder and you would expect there to be some sort of tunnel down there, but it's literally just like, it's like a pit. Like it's like the pit is probably about 10 foot in every direction when you actually get down there, but it just seems to be big enough to hold this circle. Do you want to roll Arcana to investigate what this is about?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say that on a 16, you discern that this is some sort of teleportation circle. Cruelly drawn, and due to that, it's difficult to determine where its destination was. But on a 16, I'm going to say that you managed to kind of find that the trigger for the circle closing was Rama specifically going through it.
So it's deactivated.
Yes.
Can I make any kind of notes that could help me to discern the location in the future?
Okay. Like I said, on a 16, it's not immediately obvious where the circle went, although I'd probably say that, like, you could write down maybe something... In fact, I'm just trying to think what the best thing to do is. Roll a second Arcana check, see how well you're able... Actually, Intelligence. Because it's kind... Like, the destination is a bit blur, roll Intelligence to see whether you can kind of figure out the gaps. Okay. Right, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to say that it's somewhere to the northwest of here, but you don't know how far.
Okay.
That's about as much as I'll let you.
That's about what I thought I would get anyway.
Yeah.
We're going towards Liverpool.
Please no.
Yeah.
Please no.
Never mind.
I feel that we could go off onto a tangent really easily though, but I'm going to resist the urge to. So, do you climb back up, or do you want to look for anything else down there, Arthur?
If there was nothing else of interest, I would come back up.
Really just the circle.
Yeah, I would just come back up then.
Okay. So you come back up topside, and do you guys want to do anything else, say anything else, whilst Arthur's doing this?
I did grab my bow back that I thrown
Fair enough.
accidentally.
I forgot about that.
Your projectile bow.
Yep.
Did more damage. It's done more damage so far as a bludgeoning weapon than it's done as a piercing
Yes.
weapon.
Yep.
Looking over Laia and Gramsh, seeing how they're faring, but just keeping watch.
Laia is alive and stable thanks to the party's quick thinking, but as I say, has lost consciousness. Grumpsh is just kind of now at the side of her, just kind of placing his other hand caressing Lia's face, kind of showing concern. And is kind of just muttering to himself, not really paying you any mind at this moment unless you want to get his attention for a specific reason.
No, just paying attention to them. Watching over them.
So, Leosin is kind of going to just, he's actually going to talk to you, Gwen, and say, so, it seems like quite a lot happened down here. So, you were starting to tell me what was going on. What happened here?
A white dragon happened. Just not in body.
A white
almost
dragon?
in mind.
A white dragon in mind? Oh, gods. No, it couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
He's kind
I'm
of like,
afraid it is. And I'll make our ice appear in my hand.
Leosin walks over and just sees the ice appearing in your hand, and he just goes, I mean, that alone isn't enough evidence, but... When
Well,
did...
you missed the fun part now. You gotta take them small morsels.
Sorry, what did you say?
You missed the action now. You're gonna be happy with the morsels you get.
I suppose,
Basically
but,
scolding him.
but this could be an even larger problem. Listen, whenabouts did you awaken to these abilities?
Shit.
It's important. I need to know.
Fuck, how long ago was it? Like 4
4 years
5
ago.
years?
It was 4 years ago.
Yeah. A few years now. I've been on the road with them.
Wait, was it about 3, 4 years ago? Please, it's important.
Yes. Yes, that sounds about right.
See, Randolph's legacy lives then. Listen, I can't discuss this with you now, but when...
You can't or you won't.
It's a long, very long story. I would rather tell you when we're out of this place.
Was that name he mentioned, was there any reaction?
Reaction from who? Sorry, from Krylak?
Mhm.
No. After Krylak said that thing, he's kind of trailed off. I'm actually going to say, Delman, on that note, as you're kind of searching for Krylak's presence, you don't really feel... Like, generally, since you bonded with Krylak, you've always kind of felt this pressure at the back of your mind, as if something isn't quite right. It's kind of like led to your, your irritation and to your standoffishness, but oddly, surrounded by all of these dead bodies in a life and death situation, this is probably the calmest you've felt since that day. It's kind of strange. You would have expected of all of these things that this would get a rise out of Krylak, but at this moment, you just feel nothing.
I'll just rest with my head back against the wall, feeling a sense of relief.
So, Leeson, I think, is just going to kind of sit at the side of you and just goes, I don't know when and I don't know how you came into this situation, but when we're out of here, I promise I will tell you everything that I know. And he looks over to Laia and goes, she was there at that time as well. She was conscious. I'm sure that she would also tell you as much as she could too. We're very lucky. She, along with a very select few, are the only ones who were there that day to help. I don't even know how I would describe it. Seal him, suppress him. But I wonder, actually, have anyone searched Mondaf's chambers yet?
We got here and got caught up in the act.
Fair enough. I didn't expect you. Although, with that being said, I did notice the treasure chest was open, so you obviously had time for that. Kind of like managing a half smile and then kind of just, along with that.
Very annoyed, I
Yeah.
roll Gwen on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
like, I'll sort of like snap my eyes open at that and like, oh,
yeah.
yes,
I'm going
I
to
forgot.
I'm going to say when you give him that stare, Gwen, his face just straightens as if a naughty schoolchild has just been scolded by his teacher. So he just kind of goes, anyway, it was. I recall Langdrosa mentioned it was kind of off to the side. I would imagine that. Tell me no. That creature, has it acted up before now?
It did when I first met him, but not since then have I felt his power.
You
It
have.
happened once. How long ago was it?
It was
the house?
It was probably about 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay. A few days ago.
Before we left Greenest.
Do you have any idea what he might have wanted?
Attention?
To be free.
He kind of like looks around and then he locks eyes with the egg over here and just goes, maybe he wanted something else. I mean, back then, he wanted a more suitable host, and I'm just kind of grasping at straws here, but I think he would have very much liked to have gotten his hand on one of those. Oh, we dodged a bullet there. With everything else that's going on with the Cult of the Dragon right now, we do not need. Oh, we don't need another one of them in the world. Even though you've lost one of the eggs, for that alone, I am indebted to you. And you destroyed the second. I don't suppose maybe we could. My objective here, admittedly concerning the dragon eggs, was vague. Just not to let them fall into the hands of the cult, but I think, considering what we just saw, I think we should destroy it. Kind of looks to the rest of you guys for approval. Or for your own taking the idea. Arthur, have you walked back to rejoin the group, or have you been looking at other things, whilst this conversation's been going on?
I
He's
think
gone.
he's doing something in real life.
Yeah.
Let's back out.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
What colour is the egg?
Black. It's exactly as it appears on the token.
That
Look more purple, but
Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be black, I suppose it does look slightly purple, but yeah, it's kind of like, it's supposed to be a black dragon egg.
that is from a black dragon. Where is its mother?
Unfortunately, that I do not know. All I know is that the eggs were being kept here, and they needed to be reclaimed or they needed to be destroyed, but Onfar left that part up to my discretion when I found them.
What about the blue one?
The blue one?
In the town, it was being besieged by a blue dragon.
No, he is. No, that's. I'm surprised that he turned up at Screenest, actually. I don't know his name, but I know that he sometimes accompanies the cult to. I'm kind of surprised they dispatched him to a settlement so small. He appeared quite a lot up north during the initial attacks in the north of Faerun, but since then, no, they are not his eggs. I'm sure of that.
Are
I
out
believe.
of game question. Are dragons like not genderless, but can they like switch genders and shit in D&D?
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah, that's the word. I don't know how that works.
I'm just trying to think what the law says. I know they can polymorph into other creatures. I'm not sure about switching gender. I suppose, yeah, I'd probably say it's possible.
I'm just wondering because we're throwing the word he around, which would imply no eggs, but
I mean, you could also just assume that that's Leosin making an assumption. He is assuming that dragon's gender.
wow, in 2021,
I know it's
can't do that.
it's dangerous, but anyway, essentially, Eliasson is fairly convinced that these aren't that blue dragon's eggs. He does add, however, if I had to take a guess, there's a dragon near. I believe there is a black dragon near Waterdeep. Has his territory in a swamp around there. Could be theirs. I don't really know of another. Okay.
Do I know how often a dragon could lay eggs?
That is a good question, actually.
To know, like, to expect any more soon?
Roll intelligence with advantage with your dragon.
That's an 11.
Right, okay, so on an 11, you know that a dragon can produce clutches of eggs between 2 and 5 at a time, but how frequently is kind of escaping your memory at this moment.
I'd like to get up and go and have a look at this egg.
Do you need me to catch you up, by the way, Doom? Or are you okay?
Someone can just type it while Stan, you continue.
Okay.
Please.
I'll just type it to you now. So Delman, you're going over to the dragon egg.
Yeah, I want to get a feel for how old it may be, how close it is to hatching, perhaps.
Right. Okay. Once again, roll intelligence for me with advantage. Let me just scroll down. Okay, I'm going to say that on a 21, you know that this egg is very close to hatching, probably 1 or 2 days away.
I'll put my hand out to like feel it and then just catch myself.
Yeah, as you place your hand in it, you can actually feel a heartbeat.
This egg is close. No more than 2 days before it hatches.
Not really something we want to happen, is it?
No.
Not a black one.
There is a question of whether dragons are born evil. It could be tamed. Do you have the resources to do such a thing? I'll turn to Leosin.
I'm no expert on dragons, but from reputation, I know black dragons are particularly vicious beasts, even amongst dragonkind. If you want my personal opinion, I think it's too dangerous to be left alive.
You're probably right. Chance to study a newborn dragon. Do I feel any sort of compulsion to keep it alive?
Nope. You do, as I say, like any sort of like the influence that Krylark has had over your actions whilst you've been here, like you've kind of just generally felt a sort of pressure. Like not to do anything in particular, but just kind of like something is watching you, judging your actions, but right now you feel none of that. Although, obviously, given your display earlier, you still have the power that Krylark gave you, but you just don't feel his presence.
I wanna pull out like my little journal thing, and I want to take a quick sketch of this thing. I've probably never seen a real life dragon egg before. That's exciting, at least.
Yeah, I would say that that is definitely a first for Delamain, unless you had other adventures that I'm not aware of.
No, probably just read about them. They're much larger than I've read about. The dragon that laid these must have been huge. The black colouring, it reflects like obsidian. This is amazing. I'm totally just lost in thought here, like not even paying attention to anything else around.
You're kind of just completely unaware of the fact that you're still in enemy territory at this point, just so excited. Yeah. And Leosin kind of just saddles up alongside you and just says, yes, as I said, it's most likely an adult who laid these, as I say, no expert, but yes, I think that I just don't think we should leave it. I think once you've taken your notes or whatever, we should probably destroy it unless, looking around at the rest of the room, any of you have any objections.
No, not from me.
A shame for my studies, but you're probably right. Do what needs to be done. Can I walk over to the smashed one and inspect that?
Can.
Just again, just in my note-taking mind. I just want to look at it, see what it's like before it hatches. Like, is the dragon inside dead? I assume so, but...
Yep, it is. I'm going to say that because all of these, you could probably tell just by looking at the body inside of the egg that, yeah, your estimate of 1 to 2 days was probably right on the money. And you can probably tell that although you didn't really see it during the fight, this creature was alive very briefly, but it probably died from asphyxiation. It kind of, like, its lungs hadn't properly developed yet. It kind of maybe gasped for a bit and then just expired within about a minute.
What a painful way to go.
Zark, I think we might have something for you to hit.
Don't worry. What if the wormling in there should not live long. These are not developed enough.
Zark hit good.
Okay. I'm not even going to say Voltaire because stationary object.
And was that introducing in telling Zark to move over there and...
What if it is a net 1?
Yeah, eats him.
You know what? Just purely for a laugh. Okay, you're going to hit the egg and just roll damage. Okay. It's kind of like you kind of like slash into it, and most of it's come apart. You probably just need to give it another swing to finish it off. That definitely hits. Go ahead for your damage. Yep. The egg is totally destroyed. As Delamain probably surmised, as you sort of like forget, you kind of like just hear meek little chirping of the small creature inside, but it kind of just, as you destroy the egg, it just kind of like flops over to the side and just seems to be gasping for air. just leave it.
I want to study it for a second and then pull out my dagger and just like kill it, put it out of its misery.
Fair enough. So yeah, Delman goes over, just clinically looks down at it, scribbling some notes in his book, just going, yes, yes. And then he just nonchalantly takes out a dagger and just stabs it in the heart, presumably.
Magnificent creatures.
And
It's sad to see them go out such a way.
and the dragon, like the other egg before it, expires. So 2 out of 3, not bad.
It's alright. They take a while to grow. Won't have to deal with that for a while.
It is also dead, so
I mean, the one we lost.
fair enough. Okay, are you doing anything over there? Sorry, Arthur?
Whilst this has been going on, I would have liked to approach the Korean.
Yes.
Is it still just carrying?
Yeah, I'm going to say that as you get closer to the Korean, it's not just that it's cowering, it looks like you're not really sure how precisely this happened. I mean, you can assume that either it was one of the Korean that was fighting Grumsh in their chaos, or might have just been off to the side, but you can tell that its lag has been quite badly damaged. So it's perhaps not in the corner so much out of cowardice completely, more that it just doesn't really have the means to escape under its own steam.
I'll walk up to it, bloodied, looking quite exhausted. Hold my mace in one hand, shield in the other, look it straight in the eyes. Where does that circle lead to?
Okay, so the Queen looks back up at you and just says, Survivor! The war chief will not be betrayed by me. Just giving you the Death Star. It's afraid, but not
Your
so
war
much.
chief ran away? Like a coward?
All intimidation.
Damn it.
Okay, unfortunately, that isn't going to quite do it. He's going to retort, the war chief did what the war chief needed to do. He escaped for the glory of the Korean. Kill me. I have no regrets.
I just spit down it and turn and walk away.
He just
ignoring his request.
He just snarls back at you. Kill me! Give me the warrior's death, which you were denied!
You get the coward's death. Let's keep walking.
The Queen just kind of like just starts to try to crawl along the floor a little bit. He's kind of crawling towards the direction of Robert. Does Robert want to do anything to the Queen? As it's kind of just trying to move slowly towards you, Arthur. It's pretty tenacious. You let a fire under it.
Robert, sit. Robert will sit on top of him. Not full weight, but enough to stop it.
Roll to sit.
How would I roll for that?
I mean, just roll to hit.
It's +5, isn't it? I think.
First to roll and then to sit.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to say just
Does he sit beside him?
No, for comic effect, I'm going to say that Robert misinterprets your destruction and he sits with the wrong end, i.e., he bites him.
Okay.
I mean, maybe the vital armor knocked a couple of screws loose, I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, he just kind of bites down onto the Queen's ribcage and it just goes... And, yeah, you're not sure if it's dead, but that definitely took the wind out of its sails. If it's not dead, it's definitely unconscious now.
I'll just completely ignore it, just keep walking, pretending like that's what I meant.
That's reasonable.
I'm walking away trying to look cool, but you know what you mean? No? Fine.
Okay, so just to kind of update what's going on here, Lyre is unconscious on the ground. Grumch hasn't really said a word since his arm was lobbed off. He's just kind of been at Lyre's side, seemingly trying to comfort her. So, what do you guys do now?
There's Arceus coming back up to us, looking at him. So, what's down the ladder?
The teleportation circle is deactivated. It led somewhere to the northwest. Couldn't tell you how far though.
A magic circle?
Yes.
Where?
Down in the hole where next to where Lindrosa is.
Oh, interesting. Want to run off
Windrosa's
to go
down
and
for?
investigate.
Yeah. I shouldn't let you do that, but it's Delamain, and he's curious about magic, so it fits, so I'll allow it. Okay, Delamain crawls down the hole. Do you relay what you found already, Arthur, to Delamain before he goes down, actually?
That's what's triggered him to go down.
Fair enough, sorry, I must have missed. I had to just kind of pops off again for a
I
second.
probably wasn't listening. I was probably just running over to the hole.
Okay,
Check it out.
okay, so you go down there. Well, I kind of see what you can tell about it. I mean, you know, it's a teleportation circle. Okay, so you've rolled slightly better than thinking. I think you rolled a 16, didn't you, on your
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah.
Arcana? So, right, okay, so Delman, you're going to be able to tell that you're a little bit more astute in the ways of magic than Arthur is. I'm just going to bring up the map just so I can kind of give you a little bit more of a ballpark of where this is. Right, so as you kind of run your hands along the runes, you kind of see an area where there are quite a lot of mountains, and then kind of as you run your hands further, you kind of close your eyes to kind of focus on the location, and in your mind's eye you see mountains, and then you see a solitary hunting lodge. And like Arthur, you can tell that this is to the northwest. I'm actually just going to see how far away this is, so then I can kind of tell you roughly. I'm not going to give you an exact number for this, but yeah, you can tell that this location is a few 100 miles away. At least 300 miles away from here, but you're not but you can't narrow it down more than that. Okay. So that's what you managed to discern from that.
I'll climb back up. Did you inspect the circle before? What did you glean?
It leads somewhere to the northwest.
That's all you got?
Yes, that's all I got.
I thought you were more magically inclined. You were right, it is to the northwest. A few 100 miles. It's quite far for a teleportation circle. I'm impressed. I saw mountains and a lone cabin. Does any of this sound familiar to any of you?
Not to me.
There's more than enough mountains, and lone cabins in the mountains aren't exactly a rare thing.
It is quite vague.
Okay. Guys, just whilst you're having this conversation, these 4 orcs just kind of slide down their side of the cliff. This one is panting a little bit, and you just hear them say, "Oh, never thought that thing would let you go."
Have they just been fighting the rope this whole time?
Yes, they have.
We're bantering? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I mean, to be fair, a lot was going on, but yeah, just out of interest, basically I wasn't really narrating it, but the 3 orcs that kind of came in managed to evade the grip of the Ropper and free the 4th one. The Bloodletter that was being held is dead, and the Ropper just seems to be, I don't really know what would qualify sleeping for Ropper, but its eyes just kind of like just hunched slightly forward as if it's just enjoyed a nice meal.
Stasis?
Yeah, not exactly, but yeah, I'd probably say it's about the closest thing. It's nursing a food baby.
Lovely.
So anyway, these guys just kind of like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to move Blaine as well. Yeah, these guys just kind of like come around and, god damn it, I keep moving Blaine. Sorry, Blaine. So they just kind of gather around, sort of Lyre and Grumsh as well. Two of them actually, one of them actually picks, or actually he goes down to pick Lyre up, and Grumsh just lifts his head and says, "Take good care of Lyre." And with that, this orc here will pick Lyre up. Grumsh will, after several minutes of not really responding to anyone, stands up, still nursing his arm, says, "You, scholar man, come with us to entrance. We need to talk." Leosin just says, yes, what about?" Grumsh looks down to his arm and just says, "Future." And with that, Grumsh just turns to the party and says, "Thanks for helping, Grumsh. Lyre needs rest."
That she does.
And with that, without saying another word, the orcs just start moving out the room, including the one carrying a lyre. As Leosin is about to leave with them, kind of standing up here, he just says, "Listen, considering how easily we got through here, I don't think that there's really anything left to fight in here. Well, at least not in the path we traversed. It might be worth looking around, seeing if there's anything else of value here. I suppose, the fighting might have stopped outside. I must admit I didn't think to peek whilst we were waiting, but nothing came. I leave it in your capable hands. We'll probably still be at the entrance when you're finished with whatever it is you're doing here. So, I suppose I'll speak to you soon, unless you have any questions."
All else fails. I remember the way to there.
That, Leosin nods and he leaves with the others.
Did you just tell us that we haven't cleared the dungeon? There's still loot and monsters to be found?
Maybe. No, Leosin told you. What are you talking about?
Isn't a troll in the dungeon?
I'm gonna go visit Kareem.
Okay.
Does it still look like it's alive?
I got it, Sky.
It's unconscious.
Right, I'm gonna disarm it.
It's probably bleeding out, considering that, Robert bit into his rib cage.
I'm gonna disarm it. I'm gonna drag it over to the cage just in front of the door. Use my rope I want to attach its arms and its head to the door. And then just leave it.
Fair enough. Don't think there's really any checks that if it was resisting you, I might have you for like.
Zark wanted kill.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put the queen into there. There we go.
Don't give it the justification.
Yeah.
They'd like to die in battle. Let it die alone.
Yeah. It didn't wake up while you were doing this, by the way.
Wanted kill.
Later, Zark. There'll be many more things to kill.
Always later.
I don't know why, but I could just imagine that sort of Zark's just kind of eating a chunk of meat while he's saying that.
He just ripped a haunch off one of the drakes.
Yeah, exactly. Gwen Zark is a man.
Following that, And we make our way back up here and we'll open this section. Actually, I need to mark off some rope as well.
Yeah. Also going back up.
Okay.
I follow.
Okay.
Mark off.
So, yeah, the Ropper doesn't really bother you at all as you're going up. It seems to have, as I mentioned earlier, subsided, so you managed to get past him without any glitching.
Actually,
Okay.
one thing before I move on. I
Yep.
probably would have gone over to Lindros's body.
Uh-huh. What do you want to do?
Would there? I'd search through it to see if there's anything of use.
His great sword is obviously on him.
I'd take that.
Yep, so it's just a regular great sword, just to let you know.
Okey-dokey.
But yeah, that's still fair.
We fought a good fight at the end. And with that, I'd then go and rejoin everyone else.
Yeah. He didn't really have anything else on him, he was just wearing rags.
Mhm.
So yeah. Okay, so you rejoin the others?
Are we
Yes.
looking for our office now? Those notes might help us.
Hmm? Oh, yes, he did mention something about the cult leader. What was her name?
Something begin with an M. That'd be making my way down this way.
Oh, she really was that forgettable, eh? That's fair enough.
Compared to Lindrosa.
Compared to that's fair. That's fair. She was, yeah, she was pretty much just
Lady Mondev.
Lady Monda. Thank you. At least someone remembers her name.
Out of character, I remember.
I know, but yeah, the disrespect won't be forgotten. Okay, so you kind of come to the end. I didn't really draw this particularly well, but essentially it's just you just step through into this room here.
Fuck, that's a fancy rug for a cave.
Yep, Mondaf, unlike everyone else, lived in style. I mean, considering that they probably only here, like, you can tell the amount of dedication and effort Mondaf put into our own comfort. So, yeah, the environment
That
is...
rug's probably worth a decent bit.
Probably. I'd agree. Probably.
I don't.
Probably worse a bit, but do you want to carry it? Because I don't.
Dark.
Is Max jumping on the bed?
Yes.
Perhaps this is a magical carpet. We could fly it out.
Float.
Ignoring the guys, I would like to turn to the desk.
In all, sorry.
I believe I'm standing at a desk, and I would like to.
Yes, of course. So, just go ahead and roll investigation for me, if you're kind of wanting to find the contents on the desk. I was so hoping you'd get a good roll there. I have to be honest.
Can't really get better than a net 20.
You really can't get better than that 20, so good, I can tell you. I can tell you quite a few things. Right, okay, so, this desk seems to be where Mondaf did most of her writing. There's an assortment of things on this desk. So, the first seems to be an instruction, essentially saying that they look like some sort of orders. Just simply saying everything must be ferried north to Nyalata. There doesn't really seem to be
Out
any.
of character, could you please
Yes,
repeat that name, or preferably even give us in writing?
yes, of course. Sorry, I don't have that up at the moment. I'll just have to go and grab that from somewhere, but I will put that in writing for you in just a second. So, alongside that, you do see a map as well. I will pull up the world map to kind of show you what Mondaf has written on that. Just a moment. I think it might be Narita, actually. I might have just completely butchered that pronunciation. I do apologize. Okay, I'll just put that into all 20 chats now. There you go. Right, so, in addition to that, you also see a few things on a map. So it just seems to be like a generic map of Faerun. So this is what you see on it. So there's a few things. So the first thing, if you look towards the south of the map, you can see a blue trail kind of going up along the side. So this location here is roughly where you guys are now. And the blue trail seems to be going towards the west, going up like the coastal way. And it seems to stop at about here. It's possible that Mondef might have been getting the information for where the treasure was going to be ferried to, but either because she didn't want to put the full route or that she simply didn't know the full route, this is about as much as you guys know in terms of where the cargo is currently going. You can also see several red X's scribbled onto the map. With your check, I'd probably say it's quite obvious that these are areas that the Cult of the Dragon have hit fairly recently, Greenest being like the most recently
Any
drawn on.
dates?
Any dates? No. Like this is literally just like it's literally just as it appears on the map.
Okay.
So, and then in addition to that, you also see several orange circles. So one of them is towards the Sword Mountains, towards the upper left of the map. Another one is on the village of Parnast, to the east. Then you see a circle in like the right side of the High Moor. You then also see one over this location, which Mondaf has quite helpfully marked as the Well of Dragons. So you do actually know where that is now. And then finally, an orange circle over the Whispering Woods. Again, given your investigation check, you know that you probably surmise that the orange circles are places of interest. The X's are where the Cult of the Dragon have attacked, and the blue trail is where the cargo is likely going. So, if you want to, I can send a screenshot of that map just so you can kind of refer to that later if you want to take it with you.
That would be very nice. I will be taking that map with me. Or rather, Gwen is taking that map with her.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I would like it.
Yeah, if you just give me a second, I will just screenshot that for you now. Oh, unless my screenshots software does not want to work for some reason. Region. Okay.
Always do it later.
I've literally already done it. Oh, it's on the clipboard. I'll just do it later. So yeah, that's what you see on the map anyway. So, do you relay this information to the others?
Yes. At least
Let's put his...
there's a map here. I think this is marking where they've attacked already and the next steps. Looks like a few other interesting points marked.
While this has been going on, I like to sit in the center of the room and cast Detect Magic as a ritual for the next 10 minutes.
Right, okay. Okay, so you just kind of, you're doing that while Gwen's generally checking, so... is anyone else doing anything in the room? By the way, there is more for me to go along with Gwen's investigation check. Unless someone wants to do anything else first before I continue.
I probably would have been rooting on this table while she went to the important one, at least.
Okay, Do me a favor, Arthur, you roll investigation yourself, see what you find on that table. Right.
Go find a table.
You find a table. It's a really nice table. It's made of mahogany.
Sell it.
For some reason, Mondaf could get a mahogany desk into here. I'm not really sure how myself. So go look figuring it out.
She got it from IKEA. She built it inside.
Yeah, of course.
It's flat packed.
I mean, that did
The old
exist.
IKEA.
Oh god, wouldn't that be a dungeon idea? Sort of like the inescapable maze.
Just built an IKEA.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's a modern day real life dungeon. What do you think?
yeah, that's true actually.
True.
There's no dragons in those ones, though, as far as we know.
So
You could get lost.
No one said that every dungeon needs to have a dragon.
It does have the zombie employees in it, though.
So, Gwen, as you continue looking along the desk, a book catches your eye that seems to be frequently read by Mondaf. It actually is sitting on top of, like, the most, on top of the maps, and it's simply titled ForeverTheElf Stormbringer.
I'm going to pocket that as well.
So, as well as that, you just generally find a few more papers. You also find a letter that Mondaf seemingly is received from someone about probably just under a week ago. Do you want to read it?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it's titled the 19th of March, so we're at the beginning of the spring, so it's around about 5-6 days ago. I'll have to look for the exact date, so I'll just read it. So it says, "Oh my dear Mondaf, only 2 days until your first raid! I'm sure that Vesemir will finally recognize your true worth, and you'll be able to rub shoulders with the senior officers at Snealata. Oh, well, sorry to bring the mood down, but things aren't going quite so well on my end. Victor Franz escaped from my base in the Reaching Woods. Honestly, it's difficult to find decent trackers these days. The 3 I hired came shambling back to me complaining of concussions they suffered from a bloody quarterstaff, which sounds like pogwash if you ask me, considering that they were all wearing helmets. After spending what seemed like an eternity listening to them prattle on, I had them fed and bound and fed to Esteban. Oh, I can already sense your disapproval as you read this, but they haggled over payment, and, well, I like cheapskates as much as you like traitors, so I'm sure you can understand why they put me in such a bad mood. Anyway, pitiful excuses aside, it seems that our dear old boy dear Victor isn't exactly who he says he is. After my last letter to you, in which I thought we had him cornered, he left a few juicy little clues behind. Bad form, if you ask me, but who am I to judge? It seemed that he got it into his pretty little head that one of my girls was an expert in mints, and might have recently taken on a new student. He also made several basic errors helping the E-team prepare for our next demonstration, despite claiming to be an expert. I mean, he seemed to know a lot on paper during his initiation, but in retrospect, the way he cited his knowledge was reminiscent of somebody who had read notes on a subject extensively, but had no real notion of what the hells he was actually talking about. Although, thinking about it, his Ashwood staff did catch my eye more than once, and as well as you know, my dear Mondaf, we were not really the sorts to fight with those sorts of weapons, so it did stand out quite a bit. He's probably somewhere around E by now, so we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and find him after the demonstration next week. Oh, but look at me, raining on your parade and wasting your time with idle gossip. The herbs you requested have been delivered as promised, and I've already received your payment, punctual as always. I normally abhor engaging with commerce like the Peel does, but sometimes needs must, and you're always a delight to talk to. I await your next letter once you've stripped that backwater town for all it's worth, and you're drinking wine atop Nealatar's battlements. Oh, by the way, if there is wine, do be sure to send me some. I've been so good lately, and I do have my vices. Much love, Helena Darnell.
How fucking long is this scroll of paper?
Quite long.
It's trailing on the floor.
She's a talker.
God damn.
Helena?
Helena Darnell.
Is she southern?
Maybe. What qualifies for that in this world? Maybe.
I have no idea.
Do I know the name Victor? Do I have a feeling I know who this might be?
No. But considering what she said in the letter, she did say herself that Victor isn't who he says he is. So you could probably assume that it's an alias or just a fabricated identity. But along with that, you do see an invoice for a list of herbs. Curiously enough, you do actually see the herb Darnell on the list, which, now you kind of think back, is probably the herb that was applied on Lengdros's face. It's a kind of a yellowish flower, which can kind of impair eyesight. But yeah, there's various herbs listed there, and towards the bottom right of the letter, there's just a stamp that just looks like it's like a white flower with a lot of stalks coming off it, and I'd probably say, just considering how good your investigation check was, you can quite easily tell that the stamp is supposed to be a depiction of a hemlock plant.
I would like to also take this letter with me to peruse again.
Fair enough. I'll send over the letter in a little bit after I've kind of finished this section. So, let me see. Is there anything else here? So, there is actually one more thing. You kind of look towards the other side of Mondaf's desk, and this note is a little bit more brief. It's not really a report to Mondaf specifically, it's kind of more a note that looks like it's been sent out to several cult leaders. And without kind of like reading the letter wholesale, it's essentially reporting that around Elturel, there's been a few incidents with the Cult of the Dragon in which a ragtag group of what appear to be mercenaries employing strange machines have been launching guerrilla assaults against the Cult of the Dragon around the towns that were marked in the north of the map. But there isn't really much more information than that.
Again, also taking this.
If I don't remember to pass any of this on later, remind me, but I will pass on when we kind of get to a more convenient point. Okay, do you guys look for anything else in this room? Is anyone else searching for anything?
Delamain was ritual casting detect magic.
Right, okay, so Delamain casts Detect Magic. So this basically causes you to be like, what's the range on that again? Just remind me. Is it about 60 feet?
30 feet.
30 feet.
Originating on me.
Lose with them for up to 10 minutes, though, so.
Yeah. So I was just, I mean, basically what I'm asking is, like, is it in range? Because obviously you picked up a bunch of items earlier, so. Right, so I'm going to say that, yes, you do detect magic coming from a few things. Who kind of took all the treasure from their chest last session?
I think I had the pearl.
So the pearl reacts.
I took a staff.
The staff reacts. Blaine's longbow reacts because that is technically magical also. Just trying to remember if there was anything else. Actually, the bag that you picked up earlier, Arthur, the one with the fish in it, also reacts.
I wouldn't know this, bro.
Well, no, you wouldn't, but what I'm saying is Delamain would be able to sense some of that on you. And also, Delamain, something in your own bag reacts.
Hmm. I'll take it out. I'll empty my bag and find what it is.
So, as you empty out your bag, Delamain, the dragon statue that you acquired in Greenest is the object that's reacting to your magic. But you notice that there's something different about the statue now. When you acquired it in Greenest, it was grey. The statue is now pearl white.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a thing.
Most interesting. Do I detect anything around me in the room?
As I say, I'm just mentioning the
Just-
things over here. Basically,
Just the arms on us.
just kind of like whoever had the staff, the pearl, the long. Well, Blaine obviously has the long blow and the. Like basically all the items I mentioned, kind of thingy. So like you probably sense something coming from Max. Sorry, not from Max, but unless he ate the pearl, who knows? Something coming from Blaine, a few things coming from Arthur, maybe one thing coming from. Well, I can't remember who had which, but essentially you sense all of the items I mentioned. So, what do? Do you tell the guys about their stuff?
There's nothing radiating magic in this room. Just the items we have. That pearl you have and the bag. They radiate magic. Did you say bag, Bug?
I did.
Okay.
At this point, I'll look at the bag and I'll open it up and put my hand in it.
It has fish heads in it. It has a lot of fish heads in
How
it.
far down can I reach?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Well, that's deeper than I thought. Oh.
That bow of yours radiates magic as well. A potent weapon.
I'll identify the pearl later.
Yes, I can, but it requires a while. A while we perhaps do not have.
Was there anything in there up there, Blaine?
No, just a bed.
No secret entrance, exit by the bed?
I did not look for that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be there, to be honest. Hey, Zark, what's down there?
Roxy. DM, please show Zark what he sees.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I was just replying to you. What did you say?
What does Zark see?
What
He's
does Zark-
looking down the.
Yeah, one moment. I will just
Okay,
I'll just reveal it for you. So, yeah, essentially, it's as you guys were saying. I think you were kind of saying it's like some sort of secret passage. So,
We've reached the end of the Skyrim dungeon.
yeah,
Secret passage back to the beginning.
you know what? Funnily enough, as much as I want to scold you for me leaning into a cliche, it is that cliche.
Just tunnel. Dead end tunnel. No good.
Oh, move over, you oaf. Dead
It's,
end. Why would they dig such a thing?
Incidentally, I do want to mention, Pema just pointed this out, that the flower staff and the horn silent alarm were also detected, but it's the staff with the snake carving on it that I was referring to.
Yeah, I figured we already know what those things look like.
Yeah, sorry, I
Well,
should have been a bit more
technically, you don't know
specifically.
about the flower stuff.
Because
not
it-
really.
Because I don't think Gwen mentioned that to anyone after she got it from... Oh, blanking on the
Well,
name.
Everyone saw Sasha giving me the
So-
stuff.
But you don't... But yeah, they would have
but
no reason
They
to
don't know what function it has.
Yeah, but Delman
But
now
it's
knows
not-
it's magical.
It isn't a new object.
No. I kind of was just mentioning the new objects, but yeah, that stuff was detected as well. So yeah, this is
Dalman took that stuff.
so.
I know I didn't take part of the new loot.
So, were you inspecting this wall down here, gentlemen?
Yeah.
So yeah, as you kind of place your hand on the wall, you can kind of see an outline as if the wall is supposed to move, but it probably needs a good shove to open it.
I think I found a door. A clever means of rapid egress.
Nice use of rapid egress.
Thanks.
I'm not actually even sure what that means, to be honest with you, but I'm sure it's really impressive.
But I'll put the thesaurus away.
I'll sort that up later now.
Large one. Zark.
Small man mean. Zark, no come.
Oh, now you take umbrage. Alright, I found a door in there. I do not possess the physical capabilities to budget. No doubt a way out. I, for one, do not wish to cross the mushroom minefield again. Maybe one of you would like to try?
Dark. Smash.
But Zark shambles up.
Fine, I do it.
And smashes.
Okay. Roll strength.
Not one.
So, Zark manages to open the door, but as he kind of as he pushes, he kind of feels he opened the door, but something's off. He doesn't. I mean, on this occasion, this push was enough to open the door, but it felt like he just couldn't really put his back into it. Feels. Ever since Krylark did that thing to him, he somehow feels less. It's not really something you can put into words. But it was good enough for now, and the door opens back into the first area of the hatchery.
Before leaving the room, I'd like to scan it to see if I can see anything of value.
Yep. Roll your investigation, please.
Ah, damn it.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to give you at least. I'm going to give you one thing for pity.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you look through the room, you feel drawn to this area up here towards Mondaf's bedroom. And you look through, you kind of look under a bed and you find a small chest, and inside it appears to be what appears to be a change of clothes for Mondaf, more specifically a wear of purple uniform.
Correct.
But it seems like it's fitted specifically for her. I'd probably say that the likes of Gwen would be able to wear it no problem. I would say that she's similarly proportioned to Mondaf, but yeah, it probably wouldn't suit Zark very well, for example. It might be a little bit big for the likes of you, Arthur. But you could probably just have it refitted.
Okie dokie, I shall take. And with that, I'll be working my way out and towards.
Okay, so you guys have worked your way out to here, so as you walk back out towards this way, it isn't very long, just considering everything that's happened. It was probably sunset going towards night when you guys were going in. It's now nighttime completely outside, and like, although it is like sort of like there's a warm orange glow illuminating the base of the cave. Like the fires that were started earlier either haven't subsided or more sources have been made, but essentially you're able to see. Let me just reveal these guys again. You're able to kind of see the orcs and Leosin from earlier, kind of just huddled around the entrance, not kind of just looking out towards their camp right now. Okay, so as you guys approach, you hear Grumph, Leosin, and Lyre in conversation, and Lyre just says, "Screw tradition. We have enough problems right now. With Ralph Morden potentially on his way, there isn't really any. We don't have any other options. I'm sure if you explain the situation to them, I mean, we've been clan chief and chief deaths for years. Losing your arm isn't going to change that, Grumsh. But without fight, Grumsh not lead." Leosin just stood in the middle, just kind of. Sorry, go on.
Hearing this, I would like to go forward and stop by Grunch. I could probably fix that for you.
Grumsh looks over and just goes, "Really?"
It might not be as good as your old arm, but I could give me a bit of time. I could make something that could replace it.
Grumsh doesn't really know what to say at this moment. You kind of taken. I mean, this is probably not a concept really known to the orcs. Even Lyra looks a little bit surprised, but then she looks over towards your robotic dog T-Rex thing and realizes that she just comments, did you make that thing behind you?"
Yes, I made Robert.
"Well, this is great news. We'll be able to, darling, you'll be able to have the best of both worlds. We'll be able to lead, and well, I do suppose there is still the issue of Ralph Morden. Listen, stranger, I know that we don't really have any right to impose, but I can see out there that the battle has been won, but we just fought tooth and nail for the land, and that lizard we fought back there was many things, but unfortunately, I don't think he was a liar. He knew about Ralph Morden, and well, frankly, everything he said sounds plausible. We're not going to be able to stay here. Admit what you just have offered us really helps fix one of the problems. Thank the gods, we'll be able to at least. There won't be any immediate claims to leadership of the tribe, but we still have to convince them that this victory wasn't a victory. Will you stand with us as we tell them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, darling, I suppose we've put this off for long enough. No sense standing out here in this cave in the middle of the night. With that, Lyra just holds Grumsh's hand and just kind of just, tugs them towards her direction. And they start walking out into the other map. Do you guys follow?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to bring you back over towards this map. So, as you walk out, as I said, it's definitely nighttime now. Quite a few of the tents are still on fire at this stage, but it seems that there are several orcs. Sorry, let me just bring them over to here. There's several orcs with pitchers of water trying to put out some of the fires. It seems like they might want to use to maybe potentially salvage some of the tents we use. They have, however, started a larger fire over here, which a few of the orcs seem to be gathering around, and they're throwing the bodies of cultists, and there's no kobold with red war paint. It seems that as you look upon the cliffs, I haven't put them there, but they have seemingly been slain. A few of the orcs, as you look around, seems to have scorch marks on their back, so you can probably read between the lines what might have happened there. Towards the very far left side of the camp, there are still a few cultists left, although they are currently in the process of retreating outside of the camp, tails between their legs, and you can hear the orcs over here shouting in victory. The orcs themselves are in high spirits. You can tell that these orcs are probably quite seasoned warriors. They're excited, and the buzz and the excitement of victory are definitely in the air. But it's kind of more that they're talking boisterously amongst themselves, and there's mild cheering, but no real uproar and celebration. Most likely waiting for their leaders to return before they actually celebrate in earnest. So,
Your tribe is strong.
So, Laya just goes, I didn't expect anything less of them. I knew that they would be able to finish this fight without us, and, well, frankly, it seems that you needed our help more. But then again, you saved my life as well.
We did need your help. More than we knew.
Indeed. Well, anyway, darling, do you want to round them up? Kind of just giving Grumsh a playful elbow to the side, and Grumsh just shouted, Listen up, everyone! Gather around! And with that, the boisterous kind of like murmuring amongst themselves erupts into like a cheer which can be heard all over the canyon, raising their weapons and whatever else they seem to be holding in their hand in the time. And the orcs just simply stand at attention, waiting for Grumsh and Laya to speak. So before they start, I think they walk over towards the execution platform, just because it's like a slightly elevated surface that the two can stand on. And the orcs just gather. They don't really gather around as much. Like, they can shout pretty loudly. My voice hurts a bit, so I'm not going to keep raising my voice. So essentially, Laya holds Grunch's hand and says, We fought a brave battle tonight. We managed to finally take our land back from those dragon-worshipping swine. And, well, I share your excitement, but I'm afraid I have bad news as well. And with that, Grumsh steps forward and says, Ralph Morden is coming. The orcs, upon hearing this, start turning towards each other worryingly. No one dares raise their voice in order to question Lion Grumsh directly at this stage, but the excitement has quickly turned to concern. So then Laya continues and says, We launched this attack to take back our land and to bury those dragon worshippers, but we were impulsive in our decision to act this day. But I have no regrets. These brave men and women who stand at the side of me have managed to
almost single-handedly end the threat the cult posed here. Their resources are gone. Their leaders are dead. But in doing so, we have invoked Rathmorden's ire. He is aware that the kobolds he sent, by now, I have no doubt that you realize that they were traitors, probably sent to observe, sent to determine whether we were worthy of living or dying. And when they don't return, Rathmorden will have his answer. However, me and Grumsh shoulder the burden of this responsibility. And it seems that as quickly as our victory has been won here tonight, it's soon going to be taken away from us once more. I suggest we stay here and lick our wounds, but soon we're going to have to move on. At this moment, Laia, throughout the entire speech, struggling to find her words, finding the best way to tell her people that their struggle is not over. A single orc pipes up from the crowd and says, "What you say? We fight for land, and now we lose it again?" Another orc pipes up, "Dragon men were weak like bad kobolds. Big dragon can't be much worse." A third one pipes up, We thought War Chief Gumps was strong, but he lost arm. He hiding it." And with that, more orcs kind of just start piping up, saying small jabs.
No one really being brave enough to speak out loud as the other three. Does anyone react to this?
I would shout, Quiet! What kind of coward would question the war chief?
They're waiting for you to continue. The orcs stop murmuring and they're looking towards Arthur. Teeth clenched, fists tightened, and looks of doubt and fear painted across each of their faces. What you say next could very well turn the tone of this confrontation in one of many ways.
Okay.
So what do you say?
Right. Give me one.
Just googling epic speeches. Arthur just pulls out a pair of spectacles, just starts looking at a small sheet of paper.
Sam, give me.
The orcs
Okay.
kind of open their mouth, you just raise a single finger to tell them to wait a minute. Okay, Arthur speaks.
A dragon is not as simple as something your size. Their breath could wipe you out alone. You have to plan, you have to prepare. And even better if you get them by surprise. If you're not here, they don't know where you are. You can hunt them. You can track them. And you can find them, and you can kill them. Don't make yourself easy prey.
Does anybody else speak up?
No.
Nope.
I'd probably carry
Chieftain.
on with that.
Chief, great fighter. Chief, fight. Fight good.
Your chieftain is still stronger than any of you. One arm does not limit him. I saw him fight in there, and he's no coward. even beat me to the kill a few times.
Grumph stifles a chuckle, but then remembers what he's doing right now and resists the urge to say anything further. With that, the orcs start looking towards each other. Roll me persuasion with advantage.
Here's where the bad charisma comes in.
Only
I say
Arthur or Zark too?
Actually, I'm going to say for anyone else who speaks up. Never mind, doesn't need it, but I was going to say that
Oh, what?
maybe Ada.
Hey, yay! Fuck yeah!
You got that 20. Wow,
Fucking yeah.
you guys are getting the really important. You're acing the really important roles tonight. Okay,
We're all going to TPK in a minute.
I was going to say that, yeah, if this wasn't enough, I was going to say that Zach could kind of piggyback and roll with advantage too. It's kind of like he's piggybacking on Arthur's momentum, but I would have allowed it. So, you say this, the crowd just stops silent for probably the better part of 10 seconds. They look towards each other, and then an orc finally pipes up from the couch. Who said that about War Chief Grumch? 1 arm, 2 arm, 5 arms! He's great! Looking slightly confused at the odd way of the comment, the orcs kind of understand the sentiment this guy was trying to get across, and the ink kind of just starts saying, We lost land once, we get it back another day. We're with you, War Chief, and War Chiefess. And each orc in kind starts pumping their arms in the air like they just don't care. And, yeah, the fear and doubt from a few moments ago in the wake of Arthur's soaring charisma in this particular instance the only time it will happen probably, has revitalized the orcs' faith in Lion Grumsh's leadership. And Lyra just nods to you in thanks and kind of feeling that she's got control of the speech, straightens her back a little bit and manages to kind of say the next part of her speech without faltering. Yes. Everything you've said out there is true to an extent. The War Chief has lost his arm, but not his fighting spirit. And yes, we may have lost this land to Ralph Morden for now, but we will reclaim it. Too long we have spent in service to tyrants. First to Randolph, then to Ralph Morden. We formed this clan in order to break away, to form our own legacy, our own identity. And I swear to you, on my life, and on my War Chief's life, that we will lead you to a better tomorrow. I just ask that for now, you maintain your faith in us, and we will live to fight another day. And with that, given the momentum that Arthur started with his speech, the orcs just continue cheering, and Lyra and Grumsh step down from the platform. Lyra just taking a few deep breaths, just turning to Arthur, saying, "Thank you for that. I am a warrior, but not a public speaker."
And not what you want either. That was one of the few wins in that.
Well, she looks towards the crowd and just says, "You did well enough. Thank you."
I'd nod my head. Now, I need to get working on an arm.
No, we need to get some rest.
Yes, Lyra says. I couldn't agree more of that. It would seem that our men have already started preparing places to sleep. Actually, on that note, you two, go and fetch some furs from the cave. It should probably only take you about 10 or so minutes to walk there and back. I want to make sure our guests have as much comfort as possible. I'm afraid that I won't be able to offer you very much in terms of a good night's rest, but I'll do what I can given the circumstances.
We don't need luxuries.
With that,
Just a place to lie down.
Oops, sorry, taking Delavan with the Oxa.
Hi.
The Orcs basically go off and do their thing, and I'm just going to say that 10 minutes later they come back with...
Actually,
oh, sorry.
During that 10 minutes, our ritual cast Identify on the Pearl.
On the Pearl? Yep, go ahead. Well, I'm going to just say it happens, and
Okay.
they bring the first back. So, okay, so basically you find that this is a Pearl of Power. Not a custom item, it's one that you should be able to search up. Unless you'd like me to quickly tell you what it does.
I've got it. It's alright.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah. It's a thing you can maybe give to someone. Or not. Who knows? So yeah, you've identified what the pearl is. In that time, the orcs that Lyra sent to grab the furs have returned, and they look a little bit crude and unkempt, but you can tell that the gesture is genuine. They want to make you as comfortable as possible, and it would seem that quite a few of the tents, even though some of them were on fire, I'd probably say the ones over towards... sorry, let me just get this map back up. I'd probably say that the tents towards this area, considering they were kind of off the beaten path, weren't really exposed to the attack and are mostly intact, if you want to sleep there.
I'm going to sleep.
My character's very exhausted, so he's more or less just going with the flow in terms of that.
Okay.
We all need the rest. You guys think we need to post sentries?
Are you asking Lion Gum? Sorry.
No, I'm asking the group.
Okay, sorry, just making sure.
Like as we're moving towards there, not in her earshot. Like, if she's still with us, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, Lyra's still stood next to you. If you want to kind of
Okay,
say
no,
that
no,
out loud.
I'm not saying that out loud. Not where she can hear.
Okay. So, I think just to kind of like clarify what's going on here. So, Lyra and Grumsh is going to turn to Arthur actually and say, you mentioned that you would be able to make an arm. What do you need for it?
Raw materials. Hell, I'll take weapons. I'll be able to reuse them. I need a source of heat. I need a little bit of time.
Maybe there may be... How hot would you need? Like how much heat?
Hot enough to melt metal.
There's
At least to bend it.
There's a couple of fire pits down in our dwellings that you could use, and, well, considering where we are, I would say that the cultists probably had quite a lot of weapons, probably more than enough to melt down. So I don't think you would... How much time would you need?
Not long. It's a simple thing, really, for me. Something I'm very used to.
We can wait till the morning, however. I think that you've all done quite enough for today. Me and Grumsh are going to try and get some rest. I know I think I should probably address the elephant in the room if this one hasn't done so already. The being inside of the little one. Me and Grumsh know him, or at least a version of him. But if you would permit us time to rest, I promise that I'll tell you everything that we know.
I'm getting the very strong feeling that all of us need the rest. Not just the ones who shared the story, but the rest of us to listen to. We'll all be better off in the morning.
With that, I would heartily agree, Gwen. Well, I'd suppose I should probably say good night, and I hope you rest well. You've more than earned it. And with that, Lion should go towards this this tent here.
Okey-dokey.
Leosin is kind of just been standing on the periphery listening to the conversation, not really commenting on anything, and he'll say, yes, I would say likewise for me. I didn't do nearly as much as you, I feel, but the day has taken a lot out of me, and, well, actually, in addition to whatever part of the story I could tell you, I would also say that I may have other business to discuss with you that may be of interest. I don't know, but I think it may be worth your time to at least hear me out.
We have nowhere pressing to be, so we'll talk after rest.
Very good. Well,
So it's rather pressing to get my head down. But yes, afterwards.
well, in that case, I bid you good evening. Well, I suppose what's left of it at this point. And he goes into the tent at the side here. It's a little bit burnt, actually. Not quite sure why Leosin decided to go in there, but he's that tired, apparently.
Those swings and misses.
There was a little area that's a bit out of the way. You guys want to come with me? I think.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Agreed.
As you
Yes.
guys walk
Because,
through the...
I believe Gwen entered the camp in that area. It's a few weeks back in real time now.
So the area that you were in, like with Lion Grumsh, where you met Grumsh initially, isn't this area over here. That's kind of back
No.
up towards the canyon.
No,
well,
no,
that's-
no. I mean, when I entered down into this camp, like where I went down the rope, I believe I went into that.
Ah, yes, you did. Beg your pardon, you're right.
So,
It was...
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so this was the area you
I
came
was on
down.
the cliff above there, a little bit south of there. This is-
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is the area that Lyra was talking about that was a bit sheltered with the intact tents. Kind of like where you've kind of got the two hedges coming out.
And I believe also I saw it before at some point. So I'd lead towards that area. Zark is following. I just can't move his token.
Oh, if you give me a moment, I'll just give access to everyone to move his token. I apologise. Okay, anybody should be able to move Zark now, I think. Yep, there you go.
Also, where's Max?
Oh, I'm guessing he doesn't exist in this map. Whoops. Yeah, actually, I'm not quite sure why I put Max. Oh, it's because Max was never on. I removed him from the map when he was captured. For some reason, I didn't remove Robert. I guess I just like Robert more. Or I just deleted his token by accident. Yeah, one moment. I'll grab another Robert for you.
Yeah, another Robert.
Two rabbits!
Two Roberts.
Go Max! Getting replaced by Robert.
Oh, right.
Robert for everybody.
I just give you another Robert.
He's Robert 2.0, but in Flash.
Robo Doggo Robbo?
Alliteration.
Yes, there you go. Another.
I'm going to go into one of the tents. I'm simply going to collapse onto some bed furs with Robert sat outside, keeping watch.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like, as we were getting there, I would have asked the guys, like, do you guys think we need to post a sentry?
By the way, can I just ask a favour? Whoever's got Zark at the moment, could you release control of him just so it can apply his experience, because you'll be leveling up now. Just to let you know.
How do I release?
Okay, so when you go...
Easier thing, just have Gwen, just add the XP.
Yeah, I was just trying to calculate exactly how much XP. Basically, you guys are going to be halfway through level 5. I just don't...
Through level 5?
Mhm.
God damn.
We have done a lot.
You've done a lot.
We're like halfway through level 4 right now. Fuck.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't precisely know what XP number that is, so I did forget to double check that. I'd say whatever.
Okay, I think he's unassigned now. He should be.
Okay, cool. It's just because you mentioned to me, Doom, that you wanted me to do Zach's level up.
For me, it doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Ah, right.
Just alter the stats later, or anything, etc.
Yeah, I'm literally just going to get the XP just so I can tell you what to go to. Do you guys want to do anything else before you rest for the night? It'll probably take me a minute to figure this out.
Yeah, I want to sit and cast Identify on my stuff that I picked up, that
Fair.
snake-looking thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tune myself actually to the pearl whilst I'm lying on the furs.
Okay. So let's just.
Yes, I'm gonna hug it.
So that'll be.
Vax health looks really low.
It is lower than it was before.
But
He,
is it 6?
yeah, he took quite a nasty beating.
Oh, because on his character sheet it was a lot higher.
Yeah, I usually don't update his character sheet. So, okay, I'm going to say that your XP total should now sit at 10,000 out of 14,000 for level 5. Okay. That's yeah. That.
Are we doing level ups now?
Well, because you're taking a long rest. It just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the experience now. If you want to, you can make up your mind about exactly what you want to do with your level up later on. It's just this will be the first rest you've had to have that.
Okay.
Okay.
So how much are we?
So you should be at 10,000 out of 14,000 for level 5. Just unassigned Zach again. His level has been applied. Okay. So I just wanted to ask also, we're at about 9:30 now. Do you guys want to end the session here, or do you want to continue? Because I think you said 3-hour mark, didn't you? Which will be
This
at
seems
10.
like a good spot with a long rest and all.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And I'm guessing this story is gonna take a bit.
to be fair, I'd probably say that you're kind of going into another, like, it's kind of like more of a relaxed section, but I'd probably say that this feels like a natural stopping point if you guys agree.
Mm-hmm.
That okay with you, Arthur?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
No, we must continue. We have to.
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, we'll end it here with, yeah, fairly good outcome all around. It went a lot better than I expected it was going to be honest. But, yeah, really good job tonight, and, yeah, we'll continue with more Hoard of the Dragon Queen related shenanigans next time. So until then, I shall speak to you guys later.
Bye, have a really good time.
Bye.
See ya.